Hi and welcome to a new episode of the Yarnflakes podcast. My name is Audouin and this is a nitty yarny podcast from the southwest of France. Hi everyone, I hope you are all doing very well. I am, despite of the very gloomy weather that we are having here. I believe I told, maybe it was in the French episode, that I always get very bad weather when we're approaching my birthday, which is in a couple of weeks. And ta-da! It is 7 degrees. End of May, south of France. Yay! But, you know, good thing I'm all bundled up in shawls and cardigans. I think we're going to have a relatively short episode this week. I only have knitting to share with you. So if you want, you can find the links to everything that I talk about down below, my social media tags and patterns for sale on Ravelry. First up is a finished object and a new pattern release, and it is the shawl that I am wearing. So you've never seen that before on the podcast. I've just been very speedy with it, and I just got struck by inspiration and made what I think is my favorite of my designs. And yeah, so I'm a bit more cautious about sharing it with you because it is really precious for me. I really love that design and I'm really proud of it, and I'm really anxious to know what you think about it. So this is Flora, which is a shawl, as you can see. It starts here, and then you have two texture sections. I am being completely silent because I have taken some notes about what I want to say about this design so that I don't end up not making sense. I hope you can see the motif. Yes, the bad light is kinda being on my side with this one because at least it's not being overflown with white light. So this is a boomerang type shawl, which is sort of a mixture between a crescent shape because it is long. It's very long. It is sample is 2 meters and 40 centimeters. That's about 94 stitches. And a triangle shawl because it still has a nice depth here. It's 50 centimeters. And I do not remember how many inches that is, but obviously everything is written on the pattern page on Ravelry in both metric and imperial measurements. And the way this is done is it's a shaping that makes it knit on the bias. So that's why you have something that is so drapey, and I really like this type of shawl. I think they're really fun to make. And yeah, I really love the drape that it gives the shawl, and that shape, I believe, is very wearable. It uses 2 skeins of fingering weight yarn, and I chose to knit it in 2 contrasting colors. I had this so beautiful. This is Tuscan Knits in her fuzz fingering base, which is 20% mohair, 55% merino, and 25% nylon. I think I got that right. Correct me if my math is bad. And it is such an interesting base. It's, you know, mohair is really trendy right now, but in its fluffy form. You know, you see a lot of designs where you hold a lace weight fuzzy mohair along with another fingering weight yarn. And I'm a bit peculiar with that. I don't like the fluff so much. I do have a store-bought mohair sweater that I like, and I plan on knitting myself one in the Black Ice from Len Magazine issue 4. And but yeah, I'm not very peculiar, you see. I'm going to make a black sweater, and that's it. I don't want too much fuss and fuzz. Yeah, I'm not a really fuzzy, hairy mohair type of person, but I do like the fiber. I do like how strong it is, and it has a peculiar feel to it, and you can see not so well, but there's lovely there are. You know, yes, there is a halo, and then there's all the mohair hair going everywhere, which is similar to alpaca, actually. But I really, really like it, and it is obviously super warm. I do think it's a very interesting base, and for sweaters it's probably really nice. I know a lot of people use it for socks, because obviously mohair plus nylon makes it a really strong yarn. And Tuscan knits is everything that I want in hand-dyed yarns. Right now I am really attracted to this, and she always has those really subtle, muted, neutral shades, and I just love it so much. Every time she comes up with a picture on Instagram of her colorways, I can see myself wearing them, absolutely. Even the shades of more olivey green or yellow that are not typically my colors to wear, even those I absolutely find stunning, and I would get them. These two skeins were gifted to me by the lovely Deborah from Amarok Yarns, which was my fiber share partner a couple of months ago, and yeah, that was really sweet. And she gifted me Pigwidgeon, which is this grey with brown and charcoaly speckles, and Just a Rose, which I believe was a club colorway, which is an antique, justy movie pink, I guess. And I wanted them to be together, but you see, they're not really high contrast colors. However, I think they match so well. It took me a while to figure out what I wanted to do with them, and I just had this idea. I want to design a shawl. And I instantly thought about them, and I said to myself, okay, I'm going to cast on. And this was a very different design process than what I usually do, which is think about the shawl for about 6 months and then figure out all the math and write up the pattern and then knitting the sample. This, it was intuitive. I messed around with stitch patterns that I know and tweaked them a little bit to create this one. I wanted something delicate. I wanted something basic that could be worn as a neutral. Yeah, it's a delicate and versatile texture. I wanted to have some sort of a canvas. You know, you can pick more contrasty yarns to have something really more modern and color blocky, or you can knit it in one color. I think it would look lovely as a one color shawl as well. So you have some striping here, which I think looks so stunning with how marled the two colors look together. Then you have this garter section with eyelets, and then you have this texture, which I call floats stuff. The entire shawl is garter based, so no purling at all. When I wrote the pattern and put the abbreviations and I removed the P for purl, it was a bit weird, but satisfying. It goes really quickly. You have some shaping on the sides to create the bias, and the border is simple. You know, I always do an I-cord border, but this time I wanted something that will be a little bit more discreet, because the I-cord border sometimes is, yeah, it makes a sturdy roundish tube at the edge of your knitting, and this time I wanted something that will not take away from the yarn and the garter. So it's just a line of slip stitches, and yeah, I love it so much, and I hope you do too. You know, I'm quite uncomfortable gushing about my own designs. I usually talk about the stitch pattern, how I love the yarn and the construction of it. So when I'm designing something, I feel more happy with the perks of knitting than the design itself. Like I'm marveling about the technique. Yeah, I'm a bit more uncomfortable talking about the design from the artistic point of view. I guess it's something that's very common to most creative businesses. um, yeah, it's just that Flora Soul feels so different for me. Like I said, the process was really different, and the design itself really it really matches me, I feel, and my design's aspirations and what I want to be doing. It's I love it. I am really proud of it. I am going to gift it because it is intended as Mother's Day gift for my mother. Mother's Day in France is always later than the UK and US one. It is actually 27th of May this year. I will gift it to her when I come back. Yeah, I have a hard time publishing the pattern because I feel so precious about it. I have a hard time gifting it because I love it so much. I think I'll have to make myself a second one to keep for me. It is a simple shawl to work. I believe it would be nice as a first shawl. The instructions are written only, and if you follow me on Instagram, you would have seen my little charting crisis for this texture design, which is really nice and all. But my problem was, since I have a boomerang shaping, my stitch count is shifting. It is constantly increasing and it's moving like this, you see? And charting, something that needs to be stacked to make sense on a boomerang type shawl, I've tried a lot of different ways. I thought about just putting in the written instructions for the no stitches, basically the places where you couldn't make full repeats. The repeats are on 10 stitches only, so it's not that complicated. But I still ended up having quite a lot of no stitches, like sometimes it was 20-ish stitches at the side. So I would have needed to have consequent written instructions that will tell you to read the chart for a really small part of the rows. I thought that was a bit silly. I thought of charting the repeats without the no stitches. That wouldn't work. Basically, the way it works is that you can see you have 5 stitches here. It makes sort of columns. Here are 5, 5, 5. For me, a chart needs to show you how the stitch look. If not, it doesn't make sense. But to make the chart accurate here, because of the shaping, I would have needed to offset the pattern. So basically you would have had your 5 stitches here, and on the next row the 5 stitches would have been here, and then here, and then here. And you would have had the columns go like this. and in a really awkward and confusing way because of the nose stitches on either side. It was messy. I think it was confusing and completely unhelpful. So I decided to not put a chart. I'd rather have only written instructions than have a chart that is confusing. So I am really sorry if you really love charts. But trust me on that one, it wasn't a good idea anyway. You would have thought that it was overly complicated. And yeah, the thing is, the stitch is really easy to do and it's easy to read. Like I said, it's 555. So even if the written instructions are not your thing, it is easy to memorize and to see where you are. So you don't really need to count the stitches, the rows, and yeah, you get into a rhythm fairly quickly. So yeah, this design is Uncharted, and I'm gonna call that episode Uncharted because I'm a dork. That's the name of a video game, and I think that's funny. I didn't have any idea of how to name this episode. Well, here it is. So, yes, Flora is this shawl, and I absolutely love it, and I'm really anxious to hear what you think about it. Flora is yes, it means flower sun in Spanish. It is not sunflower. Sunflower is, it's like they say girasol, which is like in French. In French we say tournesol for sunflower, and it's the same Spanish. It means that it turns toward the sun. Yeah, I do like sunflowers, but this is not the reason it's called Florasol. It is called Florasol because of Rosa Candida, which is one of my favorite novels from an Icelandic author, Audouin Olafsdottir, or something like this. I will write it down below because I do not speak Icelandic, unfortunately. It's a novel about a man that goes into chapel, monastery. Is that a word, monastery? I don't know. In Spain, I think. And he goes there to take care of the garden, and it so happens that they have a special type of rose, Rosa Candida. And that sounds like an extremely boring plot, and the plot certainly isn't the point of this novel. I really love this novel. It has a really soothing effect on me, and I highly recommend that you check it out if you want something that is gentle and uplifting. Yeah, it's a really good novel, and I think a lot of you would like it. I hope so. It's in there, the main character, so which is a man, he has a young a daughter, a baby, whose name is Florasol, and that is why I named this show like this. Yeah, so it is up on Ravelry. I will put the link down below if you like it. I decided to do things a bit differently. I have a release sale, a coupon code for you. Usually I implement the sales directly on Ravelry so you don't have to use a coupon code. I decided this time that I would put a coupon code because there's been a lot of discussion regarding pricing patterns on Instagram lately. I recommend that you check Hannah on the Road Instagram and blog posts on this. They're really interesting, and yeah, it just it just made me think about how we as designers price our patterns and the approach we have regarding that, and how in general there's a lot of underpricing and undermining that work. So there is a coupon code. I will write it here. It's probably going to be Flora, so I don't know yet. If you want to get the pattern and you prefer to get it on a discounted price because you're on a budget or something, feel free to use it. It will give you 20% off, as usual. And if you don't want to use the coupon code because you're in a position to afford the pattern at its fair price and you want to support designers fairly, you can just not use it. But yeah, I myself get patterns on sale quite frequently. I think it's still a good thing to do from time to time. So that's why I wanted to give both options. I hope I made myself clear. I don't want to get too much into that because it is quite a sensitive subject, and I am not myself fully sure about how I feel on this. So I just want to quickly address it and say that there is a coupon code. You use it if you need it, if you want to. I'd love it if you do, and you don't use it if you don't want to. There it is. Let me put it back on because it is, like I said, awfully cold. And that way you can see how nice a boomerang type shawl is. How easy it is to put on. I'm really not sure that this was my most eloquent piece on this podcast, but yeah, I guess you've seen that I'm a bit... This is special for me, so yeah, maybe I should have written out a script so that I would have not shown how uncomfortable I am. But hey, let's continue with other people's designs. I have another finished object, and they are my Latvian mittens. Ta-da! So they're both done. They both have their little thumbs. And let me put them on. I had them on the wrong side. So these are from a hobby wool. I have hair everywhere. From a hobby wool pattern, which is the people that have the Knit Like a Latvian kits. And this is one of their patterns. I just got the PDF pattern and knit those out of Drops Flora in ice blue and black. They are triangle mittens with afterthought thumb, and I'm not sure. I'm wondering if I did it wrong. On the right hand, which is the first mitten I did, it fits really well. On the left hand, I have a little issue. I'm not sure I misplaced, because you have to guess yourself where to place the thumb for the second mitten. Talk about that later. I'm not sure I misplaced it. That's the thing. I've thought about it and I've triple checked. It must be misplaced though, but I don't understand how I did it. You see there's a bulk of fabric here. I don't know what that is. But it's still okay. It just shifts more, you see, towards the side. But I guess it's fine. Latvian braids. Super cool. I like the palms. Yeah, I don't recommend these mittens if you're a beginner at knitting colorwork mittens. You do need to be able to read it from a chart. And yeah, I love a lot of their patterns, which is why that thumb thing is kind of bothering me. I have to see what I did wrong because it's a bit of a bummer. But the thing is, there are no written instructions, and well, they are, but they're either badly translated or just badly put together, or both. For example, the pattern starts by telling you cast on the total number of stitches and leave them on the needle. Yes, that's how you knit. You don't take off the stitches that you cast on the needle, because it doesn't work. Yeah, you know, little silly things like that. And the stem part is really not helpful at all. And so you have, in the chart, you have the stem bit drawn in a red outline on the palm chart for the right hand. And so I'm not sure. I did count, and it is placed at the same spot. So I don't know why it's not fitting as well. Maybe it's just how it is. Maybe my gauge is not as perfect and it's too long or too short here, but it does seem okay. Besides that, I'm still happy with them. They look fantastic. I knitted those on short circulars, 25 centimeters circulars, and my color work tension with that method was really satisfying. I am very happy with how it came out. So I do want to make more patterns from them, but I'm just a bit bothered by that thumb thing, and I'm afraid it's something that I did not understand from the pattern. But yeah, I'll probably make more mittens from them. But I do have other patterns from indie designers and other type of mittens that I want to do too. So maybe with more experience I'll be able to understand what happened. But yeah, they're finished. They're completely not in season, although yeah, you could. But I have them from next winter and they're really cool. I have a grey coat, so I think they will look nice. On to works in progress, and the first one is another design. It's a pair of socks, and it's a pair of socks that I have, well, unlike Flora, I've been thinking about this for a few months. So we're back to my normal taking ages to start designing my ideas. I am all tangled up because it is a pair of colorwork socks. Yes. And this, probably seen on Instagram that I've been struggling a little bit. My initial chart, I had some elements of it that I liked, but I knitted the entire leg, the heel, and half of the foot, and then realized that that doesn't look good. It was bulky, it was too busy, it was messy. So I undid everything again, because I had already done that twice for sizing fixes, and I recharted something a bit different, and I am so happy with the new improved version. So this is what we have. These are, like I said, colorwork socks, and this is the leg, the right leg, and you will have, well, what's on the back of the right leg will be on the front of the leg. You know, it's gonna be a symmetrical thing. This is the back of the right leg, and that's the view. So I have done the heel. I am putting a German short row heel on these. This will be the view from the inside of the sock, and this will be the view from the outside of the sock. And yeah, I really like these lines. I think they're really cool, and you can have a lot of fun designing colorwork socks with these type of shapes. I have a small twisted rib here in the contrast color. Like I said, German short row heel. And I've just started on the foot, and the foot will have the motif on obviously the instep and the sole. And I think I will make the toe in the contrast color as well. So yeah, like I said, a bit of a struggle to get it right, but I am really happy with this. I fixed it 2 days ago, and so far I have done this on the first sock, and I really like it. It's my first design of colorwork socks, and I am super happy with it. I am using Quince & Co. Finch, which is the best yarn. Oh my god, I love it so much. And I have reknitted this, like I said, 4 times now. I think it's the 4th time. And it's okay. It's not splitty, it's all tangling, but you know. It's really good, and it feels great. It's soft, it feels, you know, it's a worsted span, it's tightly twisted. You look at it, it's and it's good for colorwork. I think it gives a really nice effect. If you're not a fan of really rusticy yarn that have grip and that really, you know, make that typical really Shetland-like fabric, I think this is amazing for colorwork. You can have something that's really smooth and skin friendly, and yeah, it looks really nice. Let me show you my floats. If I can twist that. Yay. 100% American wool, it says. That's precise. So yeah, that's Audouin. I really like the label. Yeah. And this is Slate, I believe. Yes, Slate. And I just thought they'd look really nice. I would really like to have a sweater's quantity of Finch, to be honest, to try. Maybe I'll try getting some chickadee. Or turn their silk version, which I kind of want to try for socks as well. So yeah. But yeah, these just got their name. While I wasn't happy with the chart, obviously it all went a bit and I just couldn't get a name. I just wasn't inspired. And yeah, as soon as I fixed it, and now I love the motif, my boyfriend made me realize that it looked quite Mayan inspired. So these are the Yucay socks, just the valley of Yucay in Peru. Slowly going on with them. They're going super fast. They're going really, really fast. Colorwork socks are like a thing of magic, but yeah, I have other things to knit on, so yeah. I have one last work in progress to share with you, and this is my Joran top. As you know, I am one of the lucky ambassadors for Breeze, the new Making Stories publication, which I still haven't received. We are Monday the 14th of May. I leave Wednesday. I leave in 2 days, well, in 1 day and a half now, for 2 weeks. And really, I think I just jinxed myself. Shipping from Germany to France is really quick. It only ever takes like 4 days max, and this is just not coming. So I hope it will get here either today or tomorrow, and that I will be able to film the review, in which case you will see it in a bit. If not, well, I will have to push that back for a couple of weeks, which is really sad, but you know, it's how it is. And the lovely people at Making Stories have sent me a PDF version of the pattern so that I can start knitting on it. And This is a lovely summery linen top made out of lino muka, which is this adorable linen yarn that I shared with you last week. It's from Wool & Berlin and it's 100% linen, and this is the coral colorway, which still isn't that neon, but yeah. And this is what I have so far. So I have swatched, and you can see that I really wasn't sure what needle size I needed. Yeah, I haven't knit a linen top before, which I will very happily wear very soon, please. And I think I got the gauge wrong on that top, so it came out a bit shorter than I wanted to. It was bottom up, which is fine, you know, it's cropped. But that time I swatched on 3 different needle sizes because I wanted to see what was best. And in the end, so this was 3mm, 2.5, 2.25, and in the end the gauge was right with the 3mm. So that wasn't necessary, but at least I'm reassured. And so the Joran top, which is designed by Rachel Brockman, it's a tank top. It has a lovely hem detail at the bottom, and so you start by knitting those panels. So here's one, and you can see those twisted stitches detail. This went so fast. It's only like 20 stitches, and it's really nice. So I did both of them because you need one from the front, one from the back. I blocked them just so that I could easily pick up the stitches, because you know, picking up stitches in garter, I don't know if you can see, well, you have one obvious stitch and then you have another stitch that's kind of in the garter bump here, so it's a bit hard if it's not blocked. And so I did block it, and I picked up the stitches for the front and I started knitting on it. So it looks like it's 2 different colors now. No color went away when I blocked this, so I don't know what's happening with that, but you know. So I picked up the stitches and now you just knit straight. It's a straight tank top, no shaping for the body. Just knit straight up to the armholes, and then I will start some shaping. When you knit linen, it's never really perfect. It looks always a bit weird. But yeah, so it's knitted flat, as you can see. I will do that. You shape the armholes, you shape the neckline, and then you do the same for the back. The back is a bit longer than the front, and then you seam everything, and the hem will remain split at the back, which is something I really appreciate, being a hips person. Split hem is always good. But yeah, I am enjoying it. It's going faster than I thought it would, because it's quite a tight gauge. It's 3mm needles that I'm using here. Purling, but yeah, I haven't worked on it that intensively, and I already have all of this. I think I need to do about 37 centimeters. I have to double check. But I'm really loving it. Lino Muka is just so precious, because when I look at this, which has been blocked, it's just so soft and drapey, and it's really nice. Yeah. We have a KAL knit-along going on for the Joran top. Making Stories is organizing a knit-along for all the patterns in Breeze. So you can check their Ravelry group for that if you are going to get Breeze, and if you like any of the patterns from it and you want to cast it on, I encourage you to check the chatter thread in there. It's really nice. People are getting their yarns and it's getting really exciting. Some of the designers are in there as well, and Rachel is as well making her own version of the Joran top. She's using a green bluish color, which is really lovely. We have a dedicated thread for Joran. So if you go to the Making Stories Ravelry group, you will see a general chat thread and then a thread for every design. And there is the Joran knit-along thread there. So if you like it, if you want to knit along with me and Rachel, feel free to join and chat in the group, and yeah, that'd be really nice. Audrey from the future here. So I will be popping in that segment here. So it will cut a little bit the video, but I hope that with the magic of editing, you won't be too confused. It's the next day, it's Tuesday, and I have just received the breeze, so it is really last minute clutch save for this one. But yeah, I just thought I had read through it this morning, so I thought I would finally make the review for which I was sent the book for. So Breeze is the second book from Making Stories, and I am really happy with it and impressed once again by the quality of the content and the patterns selected that the team at Making Stories have put together. So if you don't know about Making Stories, they focus on producing books about sustainable, natural, eco-friendly everything knitting. So they feature European-based natural yarns from lovely independent companies and patterns from independent designers, usually with a very minimalistic, timeless style. So yeah, it is a view that I really feel close to, and I really loved their first book. I loved Woods. The book is exactly what I'm striving for knitting wise, and I'm wearing my Sauvabulin, which is a pattern from Woods. It's very cold here today again. So I was very happy that they wanted to send me Breeze for a review, and yeah, I finally have it. I have read through it, and it is absolutely lovely again. It features profiles from all the designers and the yarn companies, so the content on that is already worthwhile. It's thoughtfully written, thoughtfully handled, and it is really interesting to read about the process of every maker, and especially the yarn companies, how they source their fiber, how they handle the different fibers that they work with. So it is not just patterns. There are 11 patterns in Breeze, but there is also quite a bit of content, and there's a very interesting article from Ruta, which is the owner of the yarn shop Wool in Berlin and creator of the Linomuka yarn. She tells the story of how she managed to create her own in-store linen brand, and it is a very interesting read. It is very nice to hear about the process of harvesting flax, which makes linen, and how this connects with her heritage, Ruta being from a Lithuanian origin. So that is a very interesting read. There's also an article from Verena and Annalisa about their shooting, because they shot this collection obviously with very lightweight summery garments in the middle of the winter. So poor Caroline, which is the model on this book, had to freeze in the middle of Berlin winter. So it is a really funny read that they start the book with, and yeah, a really interesting insight on a photo shoot basically. And yeah, you can only imagine how that goes. The pictures are again absolutely stunning. I really love the one from Moods, and this as well is just really stunning, and the double pages are awesome. Caroline is absolutely beautiful. I think she really has such energy in her look. I think she's a stunning model here, and she fits the collection perfectly. So I highly recommend that you check Making Stories' work for that, because it is really a thoughtfully well written book overall. Regarding the actual knitwear content, something that I really appreciate from Breeze is that it is a true spring-summer knitting book. Usually, when you make summer edition, you end up having the same garments, the same yarns that you use in the winter, except you're using pastely or brighter colors. And yeah, I really am looking towards expanding from winter knitting. I love working with linen. I want to try cotton blends, different fibers, and it is something that I've been thinking more and more about. So when I saw that that was going to be what Breeze was all about, I was really excited and eager to see if it would indeed be a true spring-summer knitting book. And yeah, I am really happy with this because it features actual summer pattern. Things that are thought with a certain shape, with a certain type of fabric, so that you can use summer-friendly yarns. And the yarn featured in the book are really interesting. I have only ever worked with linen, actually Linomuka itself, and it is a yarn that I love, but I was looking forward to discovering new yarns, things that will also be appropriate for hot weather garments. And I am really happy with that. There's of course Blacker Yarns Lioness, you can see in this top, and each of the designs are so well paired with the yarn. You can really see the purpose of the different fiber here. It's obviously the lovely stitch definition of Lioness, which is a wool linen blend. You have silk blends. You have obviously linen. You have Masham blends, which from what I hear is a very lustrous, lofty wool to work with. So I am really happy to have true summer knitting patterns and a good resource for summer yarns. You can check all the patterns on Ravelry. Their pages are all up. I really love a lot of them. The patterns are all very interesting and very distinct, and yeah, I've already made a bunch of notes for future cast on. As you know, I am working on the Joran top, which is the pattern from Rachel Brockman, which is here, a picture I hadn't seen before. It's really nice. I think my next cast on will have to be either the Oroshi shawl, which I really, really love that shawl. It is knit in Ulysse from Dererum Natura, which I really like because I have very easy, quick access to this yarn. And it comes in a range of beautiful colors, so I love it. And I think that will probably be my next knit from this book, because I have a crush on that stitch pattern. So I will either cast that Oroshi shawl on, or the marine top, which I really like. And I'm considering using maybe Lioness from Black Yarns for this. I think it will make a lovely match as well. It's boxy shape. Most of the patterns have a really loose fitting, comfortable shape, which is what fits their aesthetics, I find. So you have these sleeveless, lightweight, proper summer garments to make, but you also have the accessories like the Oroshi shawl. There's another wrap that is really sweet as well. It's the Ali's wrap. That looks really nice too. And then you have a pair of socks and some sweaters, some lightweight sweaters that fit the spring or early autumn or maybe a not so hot summer. And I really like one of them. It's the Coromule sweater. I really like it. It's a cropped 3/4 sleeves raglan sweater. It's really nice. And you also have a nice cardigan and a v-neck sweater that is really nice. I know a lot of people like v-neck sweaters, but they're not as trendy as round necklines that you see everywhere. And I think that's a lovely, lovely piece. So yeah, a beautiful book from Making Stories. I am super happy that I got to be an ambassador for them, because I do think that their purpose in creating these knitting books is really interesting and really important. Each of the designers and yarn companies talks about sustainability and how they want to incorporate ethically made materials and wardrobe into their life, and how it revolves around their creative process. And all of those are very interesting to read and very inspiring. In particular, I have read the interview from Rachel Brockman, who designed the Joran top that I'm knitting. And I found that it was really interesting how she mentioned that sustainability is obviously a very important thing, and how she was aiming towards using more ethically made materials. But she also pointed out that we shouldn't forget that making this ethical life available to most people is a very important part of the process, and that sometimes you have to find a balance between creating things that are beneficial for the environment and for our future, but also that you have to take into account the vast range of people that we are, and of living standards, and whether or not we can afford to access either culturally or financially sustainable made knitting supplies. And I think that was really thoughtful, and yeah, I really recognize myself in these thoughts. So overall, a very inspiring read with lovely patterns to choose from. And yeah, I highly recommend that you check it out. Check out their Instagram account, because they always share little sneak peeks of behind the scene works, and they introduce interesting subjects to talk about. I'm really thankful that I have gotten Breeze, and I am definitely going to be enjoying it, and I will be hand-picking yarn and patterns from this for future summer knitting plans. So that's all I have to share with you this week. Yeah, I was a bit monogamous on my Flora design. So yeah, I hope that's okay. I'm going away for a couple of weeks. I'm going in Romania, where apparently it's 35 degrees. I'm going to have a thermal shock. But yeah, I guess I'm going to appreciate it. Although I'm not a heat person. But it's okay. I'll wear my linen dresses and attires. Yeah, I will be back at the beginning of June. And I cannot show you what I'm taking, because I sent the yarn there before. I will be knitting on a faded sweater. I'm actually not making a fade. I've already done a faded sweater, and I'm just going to take that construction again, because I really love it. It's the best raglan fitted construction for me, because I want a cropped sweater. So I'm going to make something nice, elbow length cropped, Or maybe I'm going to stop here. I don't know. I'll see. I'll see when I do it. I'm going to do it in a yarn from Papi Put, which is a lovely Indonesian indie dyer. I think I showed you that yarn. I have a picture on Instagram of that yarn, so I'll pop it here. That yarn is already in Romania waiting for me to become a faded crop raglan top. I also have sent some West Yorkshire Spinners yarn for socks. I will be making the earring socks by Jacqueline Salem, which is Brooklyn Knitfolk. You know who I mean. And I need to take something to knit at the airport if I can get my needles through. I don't want to knit on the plane, but I would like to knit during the 5 hours wait I have at Munich airport. So, yeah. I think I'm just gonna take plain vanilla socks because it's not like I'll be able to focus on anything. I'm taking wooden dippy ends and I'm going to hide them with wooden pencils, and hopefully that will be okay. I hope so. If not, I'll take a book. I'll learn German. But yeah, I am leaving. I need to be at 6 a.m. at Toulouse on Wednesday. So we're leaving at 3 from my house. Yeah. But I'm getting there quite early. So I'm going to Munich, and then I'm going to an airport in Hungary, which is near the Romanian border, which is where my boyfriend and his family lives, near right at the northwest of Romania. Yeah, it's going to be super beautiful, super sunny, I hope. I said it and now it's going to be awful and raining, but yeah. And hopefully I'm going to have fun, and yeah, I will see you again in a couple of weeks. There will be a video in the meantime on the channel. I have finished my new project focus. If you don't know, the project focus videos are special videos that share the entire process from start to finish of a special project. So I have finished the new one. It's there, it's ready, it's uploaded on YouTube. It's just on private. It has French subtitles, yes, which was a pain to make. I don't know, YouTube just changed the way you can do them. I don't know. So I will put it live sometime next week, I believe. I made the Kate cardigan from Len issue number 4. So you will see that. And yeah, I hope you will enjoy it. That will fill in the little time where I won't be able to podcast. Oh, speaking about Len, have you seen the dress? Len issue number 5 is coming in 2 weeks, and there were sneak peeks of some sweaters, and they were all looking really sweet, but I hadn't, like, none of them was really boom I wanted for me, and I was not sure, because there's an interview with Isolda in it, so I really wanted to meet that. And there's the city that they go in and tell us where to go eat is Edinburgh this time, so it's nice. I think they shot the pictures in Lisbon, which is really cool as well. But yeah, I wasn't really moved by the pattern sneak peeks that we saw. And last night they posted the Lotta dress. Oh my god, that thing is so beautiful. I'm gonna put the picture here because you have to see it if you haven't. This thing is perfection, and I pre-ordered I went straight. I remembered that Anna from Lanaï Tricot, why did I say it like this? Lanaï Tricot, which is a yarn shop in France. I remember she had them for pre-orders. So I'm like, do you still have them? And I went to check and I ordered one. So yeah. I'm not sure I will make it into a dress though, because I don't think it's the shape of a dress that I will wear a lot. But as a cropped sweater in a cotton blend, yes, I think that's what I would do. It's just so beautiful. Yeah, my problem is I don't see what shoes you can wear with this dress. I really don't. So I think I'll have a sweater, but like the details at the ends and the neckline, and it seems like there are some twisted stitches here. It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. And so I will have Len Magazine issue 5. Yay! And yeah, I will stop ranting about everything now, and wish you a very happy end of May. I hope you have a lovely time. I hope you have better weather than what I'm having. If you like Flora Soul, or if you don't, just I would love to hear what you think about this design, because yeah, like I said, it's really precious for me, and it is me as a designer, so to say. So I think it's important for me to know if what I feel is right for me, if you appreciate it. Just yeah. And yeah, I think I have said everything. I gonna go now. I will see you next time. Bye.